Oh my gosh. Why did this do this to me? I check every week. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. Am I working now? I do believe your mic is muted. Thank you, Eleonora. Hi, Dara. Hi, Eleonora. Happy Friday. I hope everyone is doing well. I was just asking, oh, has anyone had any bad luck this Friday the 13th? It just happened. It just happened. Friday the 13th. Oh. Andy said, I've been silenced. We love... Hey. I'm a woman who has been silenced. What can you do? Just tired today, no bad luck. Oh, that's good, Daro. Had a tiring week, did you? Spooky day for real. Yeah, absolutely. It's a spooky, spooky day. Well, hopefully nothing else goes wrong. I'd hate to have more technical tragedy befall me on this Friday the 13th. Let's get into it, shall we? Now that I'm wonderfully embarrassed. Hey, look at this. We're getting so close. We're getting so close, you guys. We got to finish Clarabelle today, and then we've got 3 more. Eek! I'm so excited. She's coming together. And how have you been, Eleonora? You've been absent. You've been absent. I missed you. I missed you while you were gone. It's been a few weeks since we've caught up. Yeah, so I like that the music got a little bit spooky for a spooky Friday the 13th. OMG, I missed Clarabelle last week. Heartbreaking. I know. Well, she's not quite finished. She's not quite finished, but yeah, I did miss her introduction, unfortunately. But hey, look at her. She's so pretty. She's so mother. I'm obsessed with her. Just imagine. Imagine being Clarabelle. Imagine being that bitch. We love her. Yes. We love our dream queen. She's just, you know, when someone upsets her, she sends them sleep paralysis demons, and we love her for that. She's so right for that. I love when women. And I think she's just so pretty. She's a really, I wouldn't say she's a unique character of mine, but she is probably one of the prettiest characters that I own. And I can't wait to finish her story, really. It's just a case of finding some time between our current campaign, because our only session that we had of this historical mini campaign, our Civil War campaign, of which Clarabelle is a part, was right before we started our current campaign, and now, you know, we can't stop. We love this new campaign. Had 2 kind of one-shot sessions and 1 session from the campaign with Crystal Arm Kitty. Oh, yippee! Oh my gosh, Dara, you play so much. I know you said before, but it's actually crazy how much you play. I'm so jealous, honestly. I could really do with that. I was out last week buying a car with my mother. Oh my gosh! Congrats! Those hunks of metal. Damn. They kind of pricey. I still haven't learnt to drive. I'm actually quite bad for it. It's because of the pandemic. It's kind of a, you know, it's just kind of I was learning, and then the pandemic started, and so I couldn't continue learning. And then all of the teachers, all of the driving instructors raised their prices like massively, and now I just can't afford it. It's so expensive to learn to drive these days. It's okay, I'll just take the bus or the train. Who needs a car anyway? But that's so fun. I suppose I can forgive you for missing Claravel in that case. I'm quite excited to spin the wheel. I'm getting a little bit nervous that we're going to end up with doing cat last. And you know, I was debating rigging it. I was debating rigging the wheel and being like, oh, should we, you know, should we just do cat before last, you know, make sure that we end on a campaign character. But, you know, I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be funny if we just let it play out however it will play out. Get a little sash in. And there we go. I love her cane so much. She's the only character that's like... I feel like I say like all the time. I'm so sorry. She's the only character who has a cane or anything like that, and I just think it's so cool. I feel like I need to give my characters more I don't know, like more things that aren't super commonly represented, I suppose, like birthmarks and things like that. I just always forget, but they're really cool, and I think it just makes characters way more unique. Or oh, Vitiligo is just really lovely. It's just so cool. I wanted to try out my College of Valor Goliath Bard for a one-shot, but it started at level 1, so it wouldn't work, so I made a life-doing Turtle Cleric instead. Yes! I love a turtle. I love a turtle. I've never played one, but in the little campaign that I was running, where everyone was basically it was basically a Suicide Squad, but for a hag, where everyone had made a deal with a hag, and the campaign was just to fill out her shopping list. One of the players in that campaign played a turtle called Crump, and he was a Spores Druid, I believe, and he grew mushrooms out of his back, and he had this really, like, he had a kind of a stoner vibe about him a little bit, but most of his personality was just the fact that he was a really, really, really old man. And so just he'd talk like proper little like Gandalf vibe. And it was so good. And there was another character called Susan, who I do not remember this at all. But this Susan woman, she was a really quite evil sorceress. Love her to pieces. But she made Crump crawl on his hands and knees, and she rode on his back because she couldn't be bothered to walk. And I don't remember when this happened. I hardly remember anything about that campaign at all. I was just too busy. I was too busy DMing it. And I guess the stress of DMing something so intense really just, I don't know, it just completely wiped my memory of all of it. But you know, the players had a good time. The players remember. At least some of them do. My Evelyn has had a cane. I still miss her. Oh, I love her. I really want I've given Godred a prosthetic arm, but I think I really want another character with a prosthetic, because he only got his prosthetic arm right at the end of his story. Like, he's never coming back to fight or anything, and like I'll probably see him again, but he's fully retired. He's never fighting again. So him having a prosthetic arm really is just a design thing. I feel like I really want to give one of my characters a prosthetic. I did have I had a backup character for Zafir in the last campaign who was a Triton, and she was missing her arm from like below the elbow, and she was a Path of the Giants barbarian, and her weapon of choice was basically like a piece of a ship's mast. So she had lived her whole life like underwater essentially, and she's just super duper strong, and she's a Triton, and she would shove the end of her arm into like a crevice into the ship's mast, and it was this huge chunk of wood, just this massive block of wood, and she just smacked people with it. That was the idea. She was so cool, and I do still really want to play her someday, but I made her specifically to be a backup character. So it's kind of a one-shot vibe. I think it would be really cool actually to do a one-shot where everyone gets to play backup characters that they've made. Kind of have like a B-team story. Like an alternate universe story, I guess. Would be kind of fun. Since he was a hard shell tank for that session, I named him Yoke. Yoke the turtle. I love that. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. I love a silly name. I never give my characters silly names, honestly. I feel like I should get a bit more whimsical with my characters sometimes. Just get a little bit more silly. I say had because her updated design has reinforced legs braces. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love that. For my final major project at university, I created a whole book, a whole concept art book, where I came up with this whole concept for a game, or like a world. It was it was a concept of basically like a Witcher-esque. It was going to be an RPG video game, kind of Witcher-esque, kind of Fable-esque, where you're playing as a werewolf girl, and so there's a sort of like a morality system, but the morality system is kind of based on whether you lean more into your bestial werewolf nature or lean more into your magical spellcasting nature. And you know, if you lean into your bestial nature, then you'll be way physically stronger, but you won't be able to cast spells as much, and vice versa. Which is kind of interesting thinking back to it now, because that's basically what I'm doing with my character Mirren as a werebat. But yeah, I came up with a bunch of companions and I did all of their designs, and I did this whole book of concept art. I drew a map and I drew some enemies. It's going to be all of these islands are full of folklore creatures and different races and stuff, and you know, like Dragon Age and Baldur's Gate and all of this, you have to have romanceable companions, and one of these companions was an archer. I've forgotten her name, but she's this really cool, like, roguish arcane archer type, and she had a prosthetic leg, and the design for the prosthetic leg was so cool. It was so cool. It had these like crystals in it. It was powered by magic, and then so she because she lost her leg at like right at the top of her thigh, so she'd lost like a big amount of her leg, so she needed a knee and stuff like that. So and knees are notoriously difficult to deal with. That's why prosthetics are so expensive when joints are involved. And yeah, so it was like powered by these crystals, and then she could use these crystals in her that were like housed in her leg to enchant her arrows and her bow, and they would like, you know, she'd have like explosive arrows and like lightning arrows and stuff like that. It was so cool. I really loved that project. I hate the art now looking back. The art is so bad. And that was only a few years ago. But you know how it is, when you draw enough, you progress really quickly. It'd just be really cool. I basically want to recreate her essentially, and just bring her back into D&D maybe, because she was really cool. I really like the idea of fantasy prosthetics and all of this, especially because prosthetics in real life are, like I said, so expensive, and they aren't very fashionable, really. I guess I feel like it's such a bummer, because if you lose your leg and then you have to spend a bunch of money to get a prosthetic in some cases, in some places, and then your prosthetic, it's not like customizable or anything like that, you know? You usually you're really limited in how it looks, and I just think it'd be so cool to have a customizable leg. The same way having a prosthetic eye, you can have really cool different prosthetic eyes and stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I think fantasy prosthetics are so cool. Just stuff like that. Add her little glowy stars to her dress, because she's so glowy, and she's all about the night and dreams. 19 AC at level 1. Sorry, what the heck? I swear you have the craziest builds. How do you have... Wait. I mean, because turtles can't wear armor, can they? Because they got that big shell. I suppose you can get 19 AC at level 1. I don't know what I'm fussing about. You just wear heavy armor, you know? Just wear heavy armor, carry a shield. What am I talking about? fun little thing about Clarabelle's design is that as she's from the noble house Vidina, and Vidina is so about Tilda's get 17 AC when not wearing armor and a shield. Wow! Didn't know. So you're just, yeah, you're just holding a shield. 19 AC. That's buff. Total meta. But yeah, the Vidina house are so they're so blue and silver and pretty. So really all of Clarabelle's jewelry, her little neck collar and everything like that, it should all be silver, really. However, it is not silver, it is a pale gold because the house that she married into, the Ramlether family, the ruling house, they are characterized by gold. And so she is wearing this very, very pale gold to basically show that she is part of the family, but she's not wearing, like, it's not like this gold, you know, it's not super yellow gold, it's very, very pale, because she's still very much a Vidina at heart. And the same goes for her clothing as well. The Ramlethers are very red and gold, and the Vidinas are very blue and silver, and purple and silver. So she's compromising with the gold. She's keeping her purple and blue. Hello, Waffles! How are you this week? Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Friday the 13th. I actually think Clarabelle might be Mercy done. Yippee! Because these gullies, they don't actually need a lot of rendering, really. You can't really see it from too far away. Might deepen up the shadows on her face a little bit. Just a little bit. Also, hello Unearthly Arcana. Welcome to the stream. It's lovely to see you. How are you doing today? And thank you for joining me. I think it's the first time I've seen you. I just need to deepen things. Oh, she's so pretty. You know, Clarabelle's like, oh, she's in her late 40s, I think. Oh no, maybe she's her early 40s. She looks so good. She's crushing it. She's crushing it. She does have crow's feet, but you can't really see them at the moment because she's got big, big lashes. I really love these little, smile lines you get when you age. I think they're so lovely, so pretty. I always feel like I never play older characters. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just, why can't I ever play an older character? I feel like I only play people in their 20s, but that's not true. I have plenty of older characters, they just happen to be for one-shots. Anyway. Let's have a look. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need some more shadows under her hand. And maybe a little bit more shadow on her boobage. On her boobage. Actually, not my first time tuning in. Last time was a few months ago, but then I got busy. I was kind of Tracy then. Ah, how fun! Sneaky name change. I love it, I love it. I'm on fire with characters. I started writing again. My character anatomy skills are improving rapidly, and I'm planning on hosting a little art exercise for my subscribers. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting! Wow, you have been busy, Waffles. Oh, what's the little art exercise? I'd love to know. I feel like I should host something soon, but I really don't know what it would be. I really don't know what it would be. So definitely want to do some more sort of interactive shenanigans, but you know, I had always been planning on doing it for 1,000 subscribers or whatever, but then one of my animatics just sort of blew up out of nowhere, and then I just suddenly hit 1,000 subscribers, and I had no idea what was happening. I thought I'd have a million years to prepare, and then I didn't. And that exact thing happened to me on TikTok as well. You can never plan for these things. So, you know, I'll plan for the next one, I guess. Okay. Her boob shadow is kind of weird. I feel like I keep wanting to give her cleavage, but she shouldn't actually have cleavage. I just can't help myself. She's just so fierce. Okay. Little chin. Okay. Okay. Half an hour in, and we might be finished with Clarabelle, and we can move on to our next person and spin the wheel. I'm actually so nervous about spinning the wheel. I really don't want to end on Cat. Because she's so stupid. She's so stupid. I hate her. The whole thing is so dumb. But wouldn't that just be the most D&D thing ever? Basically like rolling a nat 1. I don't think I would mind if I hadn't made it all this way, saving 2 of my campaign characters for the end. Okay. Clarabelle. Gosh, she's so fierce. She's so pretty. She's really stealing the show. Okay. Okay. So, we have Kat, Athos, and Zafir left. Now, the best one to end on, the one that we don't want to get, would be Zafir, because he is such an iconic character in my repertoire, and he's so important to me. So it'd be really cool to end on him. But hey, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We gotta spin the wheel. Ooh, I know it's gonna be Zaf. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be Zaf. Woo! Zafir! Okay. Oh my god. Now Zafir is an absolute doozy. He is a doozy. I can't believe that. It's gonna be between Kat and Athos. Oh my god. But hey, I gotta respect the wheel. I gotta respect the wheel. It's Zafir. Hey, baby boy. So this is Zafir. If you've not met him before, he was my previous campaign character. I played him for 1.5 years, and he went through a lot. He went through some changes he went through design changes, and he went through a lot in his campaign, and I have drawn him probably the most out of all of my characters. Senna is getting up there, and he's so hot. He's so hot. Let me find. So this was Zaf's original design initially. Well, kind of. He had very slightly different tattoos at the beginning. This was him at the beginning of the campaign. Close, kind of close. This was basically him. He started the campaign undead, so he was very pale. And I designed him like super pale because I had no intention of him ever coming back to life. And he has these smoky tattoos, and his hair was originally black right at the beginning, like first session. He has black hair usually, but his hair turned white thanks to your wild magic surge. So this is his design for most of the campaign. But then came back to life, and then he also died a couple of times. And so let me show off his final design. This is his final design. So yeah, he came back to life, and every single time he dies, his tattoos grow, and they went through his eye. And he kept his little white streak. His hair went back to black, because his hair is naturally black. And he kept this little white streak. And he also became the champion of his god, Nazazil, who is the goddess of death. And this is his armor. The mask. Ugh. Probably the best armor I've ever designed, truly. It's so detailed. But yeah, so that is who we are drawing now. Oh my gosh, so many messages. So let me just color him in while I read out these messages. So I want to try a challenge everyone to draw an apple in their own art style in any way they want, and that sounds boring or simple, but I think it's a cool little thing to show off in a unique style. Yes, that's lovely. I had someone say if I draw an apple and someone else draws an apple, they're completely different artworks, and that is very true, so I will attempt this. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. I've only ever drawn... I drew an apple core for that one apple core trend a while ago. I think that might be the only time I've ever drawn an apple core. Although it is giving still life way back in the day. So cool. Been working on a campaign character diary for my Dullahan PC, and I hope to post it on Tumblr soon. Oh my god, the Dullahan! Yes! Oh my gosh. Love Dullahan. Love Dullahan. Always will. Always will. Love a Dullahan. They're just my favorite folklore creatures ever. Ooh. Oh, and the apple thing, I had an assignment in uni where we had to draw apples and then warp them into creatures. Very fun. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I think I would do... If I was gonna turn an apple into a creature, I'd probably make it into a little frog. You know, one of those little really, really round frogs. I think this is so cute. And they make really funny noises, little funny squeaky noises. I love frogs. Wheel is law. Yeah. Unfortunately, Eleonora. I can't disrespect the wheel, but I really want to. I really wanted to disrespect the wheel. But hey, when it comes to Zafir, there's so much campaign lore to talk about. I'll actually not be able to finish it all by the time I finish drawing him, I don't think. Wow, that sounds awesome. Ooh, every one of those looks is so cool. Thank you so much. Bot of Burton. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful stay. And happy Friday, the 13th. Very spooky. You know, I shouldn't have said that I didn't want to get Zafir because I forgot that it's Friday the 13th and thus I will have bad luck. Of course the wheel would choose Zaf. What was I thinking? Do any of you guys actually believe in that sort of thing? Are you guys superstitious? I'm actually not. I'm actually not very superstitious at all, but I kind of wish I was. The only thing I find is that I get a bit superstitious about are tarot cards, I guess. When I don't really believe in tarot most of the time, but then I'll draw one. Like I'll draw some tarot for fun. I'll do a reading about something for fun. And I'll just be like, oh, teehee, this is like so silly. So silly, teehee. Tarot, so fun. And then the reading will come back and it will just be so fucking accurate. I'll just be like, oh my god, is it real? Is this real? Been looking here for 30 minutes, your drawings are amazing. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so sweet, bot. And then you get read like a book. Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, did I tell you guys about the tarot reading that Brannigan did for Senno? Oh, it was so on point. It was actually incredible. So in game, Senno's best friend Brannigan, he's sort of into tarot. I'm not really sure where he picked it up from. I mean, he's a little circus freak, you know, he picked it up from somewhere. He's a little Feywild guy, and he picked up some tarot cards, and Senno was kind of just, she basically only wanted to ask him one question. She wanted to ask him if she would ever see her home again, and he but she didn't want to make it seem like that was the only thing that she was going to ask, so she asked him 3 questions, and the whole time she was like, oh, you won't know which one's real because I'm going to ask you 2 fake questions and 1 real question, and you're not going to know which one's the real one. So the first question that she asked was, does anyone in the party want to you know, want to go fade to black with me? And oh my gosh, the reading was, I think it was the High Priestess or the Empress, which referred to Senno. Then it was Death, which taken literally would mean one that is close to death. And wouldn't you know it, our girl-loving Paladin, the one that Senno has so much sexual tension with, she's technically undead. Like, she's been dead. So, wow, fancy that. And then also the last card, which is basically like the outcome card, that one was the Tower. So it's gonna be Toxic Yuri. It's gonna be Toxic Yuri. It's gonna be amazing. I'm very excited. And you know what? That's exactly what me and that player sort of had in mind as well for them, which is crazy. It's crazy that the tarot did that. And you know, the whole time they've had this really this, I don't know, they've had so much tension between them, and it's just crazy that the tarot picked that out. Literally death. Oh my gosh. And then the next question that she had was do I want to know what William, our NPC, is hiding? Or would I rather not know? Because at that point we didn't know William's big secret, and all she knew was that this guy William that she had taken quite a liking to was, you know, he was in some trouble, and she was kind of like, do I want to know or do I not want to know? And then I think his reading was like the Chariot and the Fool, and basically the reading summed up was like he has lived a life of discipline and rigidity and things like that, and he's broken free of that now, but he doesn't really know who he is or what he's doing, and he is kind of walking blindly into danger, and you know, he kind of thinks he can start again, but he's a bit naive about it. And wouldn't you know it, that William was a fucking prince. A secret prince who is cursed to never feel love or joy or basically anything, thanks to our druid. And he was also an inquisitor, who is basically like a crusader, a witch hunter, which is basically Senno's like least favorite thing in the world. And she slept with him, which is like really awkward. It's really awkward. Like he couldn't have told her before. He really couldn't have told her before. Like damn. So that was painfully accurate as well. And then the last reading was oh, will I ever see my home again? And it basically said it was death again and strength reversed and things like that. And strength reversed is crazy because that is so, strength is Senno's card. And it basically said that the main reason that she isn't going home is because she won't let herself go home, essentially. Like her whole thing is, it's more self-inflicted than she wants to admit that it is. And she's really insecure. And I was like, oh my god, just read this poor girl to filth, my word. So I'm like, oh, I don't believe in tarot. And then it pulls some shit like that. Like I do tarot readings for the campaigns I'm in, and by god, they're always right. Yes. I really do. It's like, I never believe in tarot, and then it just reads the shit out of you. It's crazy. I think there's Brannigan's player pulls a tarot card, just one card every session before we start. It's, you know, it's gonna be a good time when they pull Tower or Death, which they've done on multiple occasions, and it's always been one of those sessions when they do pull that card. Beautiful. Yes, I love Yuri. Yes, I was so excited. There is nothing more beautiful to me than some toxic Yuri between a really, really buff muscle mummy paladin and a super duper obnoxious frail little wizard. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good. They had a moment last week which was actually quite cute. where Senno was basically they basically cleared things up, and the paladin had made a big effort for Senna's birthday and got her a really, really nice, really thoughtful gift. And Senna was a little bit shocked by that because she was certain that the paladin did not like her in any way, shape, or form. And she said this to the paladin last week. She was like, "Oh, thank you so much for the gift. I didn't know you knew me that well. I didn't think you liked me, like, at all." The paladin was like, "What, this whole time? Like, you thought I didn't like you? Like, till now? Till literally now?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, literally up until my birthday, I thought you fucking hated me, which is so on brand. So that was kind of funny. And then they had a little joke around about how they used to get into fights. But it's cute. It's all water under the mountains now. So yeah, and so fun, so nice, so wholesome. Every single time that Senna Merrin fixes something with one of her friends, with one of the party, 2 more people get mad at her for whatever reason, which is great fun. Usually I'm a super big fan of party conflict, but this week it's actually kind of gotten to me a little bit, and I'm not really sure why. I'm trying to be quite mindful about it, because you guys, you know how it is with like character bleed and stuff like that. You've really got to take care of yourself and playing D&D sometimes, because you get so attached to your character, and sometimes it feels so personal sometimes. So it's really good to stay mindful of that, especially if your character does something that like really pisses off the party, or, you know, they're having fights or whatever. I try so hard to be mindful, and usually I am, and it usually doesn't get to me, but this week it really got to me. I'm not sure why. Because maybe it's because nothing's actually happened yet, really. I think it's the anxiety of knowing that Senno has done wrong and has pissed off, or there's like just something wrong between her and multiple members of the party that just hasn't come to light yet. So for instance, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the animatic that I posted of our lovely dwarf Perrin screaming at this blonde woman. That's Isabella, and she's our patron. Basically, she's funding us, she's giving us work, and she's the one that sent us on our most recent heist, which was to break into the bank and steal some records from this guy who is doing some shady shit. So we're stealing his bank records, and the heist went wrong. We were betrayed by our informant, and the guards were tipped off, and so there was a big fight. And during the fight, several people went down. One of the characters was on 2 failed death saves, and although we have access to Revivify, we were level 5 at the time. We didn't have any diamonds. So, you know, if someone died, that was kind of it. I do have a gentle repo scroll in my pocket, but that's, you know, that's all we got. And so eek, kind of rough. Multiple people almost died, and so when we came back in and we met up with Isabella again, our lovely dwarf Perrin had something to say about the fact that her informant had betrayed us, because he said, hey, you're really bad at picking informants. Either you're incompetent or you're actively shady, because what the hell was that? And it basically became like a huge thing. And Isabella took it very well at first. She took it very well at first, but then after Perrin was like, I'm not even sure if we should work for you anymore, and after that whole thing had gone down, she asked Senno to stay behind because Senno kind of pulled it back. There was this very real possibility that we would stop working with her, but Senno really needs to keep working with her because she's her only lead in this whole everyone in the Vale is gonna die sort of thing. So she managed to pull it back and she was asked to stay behind, and that means that Perrin is now very, very untrustworthy. Not untrustworthy, but she finds Senno very untrustworthy. She's like, he thinks that she's really dodgy. But just sort of like, but he's not said anything yet, so he's not said anything yet, so now I'm just kind of waiting for that to come about, you know. And then also on top of that, Senno ended up sharing William's secret to everyone in the party, and then when she got back, well, it's not been revealed to her yet, actually. I just know through the meta, because I witnessed this conversation go down, but basically Bran went to speak to William, and it was revealed that William actually did not want Senno to share this with the rest of the party, and she didn't really know that. Eek. So now she's really like she's really pissed off William, but she doesn't know that yet. Oh my gosh. And then also after this lovely conversation that she had with Brannigan, where they shared their backstories and were really vulnerable with each other for the first time basically ever, and they had a little kiss, and it was so lovely and so emotional, and just like a really big step forward for them. Ever since that day, Brannigan has been avoiding her, and it's it's really hard. It's really hard for her because she's got issues about that shit. All of her friends essentially betrayed her in that sort of way. Every single time someone gets close to her, they end up getting really pissed off and leaving, and now she thinks it's happening again, and it makes me sick. It gives me a tummy ache. It gives me a tummy ache to think about. I think that's the thing. It would be one thing if she had just like had a fight with these people, but I think the fact that it's not come about yet is making me really anxious. Like I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop. I just like, please. It's not the kind of high conflict that I enjoy. I'm like sitting here waiting for people to be mad at me, you know? But it's just a game. It's just a game, and no one's mad at me in real life. That's what we all have to remember. That's what we all have to remember. But are you really playing if it doesn't make you physically ill? So true. I had such a tummy ache after the end of last session, just knowing that all of these people were pissed off at Senno and that she didn't know that yet. And oh my god. Just, oh my god. Yeah, it's one thing to go to bed after a session and be like, yeah, this fight that I had with my friends is so good and fun, but just knowing that everyone hates her and they just haven't said yet, it's just, you're killing me, man. For another campaign with my neutral evil dragonborn, last session we were sent to a dream sequence with another player, and it ended us signing for a deal with young Yenogu. Two other members of the party are gnolls, and we were given a task from Yenogu to convince our trolls to return to her faith. We were promised some great boons if we succeed. All of that happened because my dragonborn signed a contract with the Demogorgon for an item, and said Demogorgon passed on the debt to Yenogu. Whoa! You guys just being passed around between entities is hilarious. Like, oh, I don't want them. But I don't want them either. Like, oh, but oh, this one's dirty. I don't like this one. You take it. No, you take it. So yeah, that's my that's my ramble. That's my ramble about character bleed and anxiety. I think maybe it's just an anxiety heavy week, maybe, for me. I'm not really sure why, but you know, some weeks are just like that, and it's just important to it's important to keep with the affirmations. Hey, my friends aren't mad at me. If they were mad at me, they would tell me. We're all adults here. They will tell me if they're mad at me. I trust them to do that. They're not mad at me. It's just a game, guys. It's just a game. We're all having fun. And also, my character is not me. She may feel very close to me. I may love her so dearly. But we are separate. We are separate beings. And actions that my character takes do not reflect upon me as a person. Unless I'm doing something really, really fucked up and weird. In which case, what am I doing? What am I doing? This was not part of the consent form. This... In which, if I'm doing something really weird, I need to take a step back. But I'm never doing something that weird. So yeah. This sorcerer will touch anything that's cursed with just a little bit more power. Oh my gosh, that's so Senno. That's Senno all over. I'm very excited, actually. Very excited for Senno to do something very reckless and fun next session. She was given this... Well, she found this really weird potion, and recently we tested it out, and the potion does crazy shit. It basically healed every element that was wrong with Perrin and removed all of his scars, which is just crazy. And a potion like that, there's something weird going on there, you know. There's something real weird going on there. So and every time she studies it, she gets a point in something called Acuity. So, you know, I'm sure that's gonna be really nice. I'm so late, what a week I've had. Hi Jack! Hello! Oh Yippee! Jack is here! How are you? Now the party can really start. Now the party can really start. I finished Caravel, and hey look, it's Sapphire. It's Sapphire. How have you been, Jack? How's your Friday the 13th been? I started this stream at muted, so that's how my Friday the 13th has gone. I'm so tired. My boy, my hot boy. My sexy yum yum boy. Love him to pieces. My undead. My beaut. Not so undead anymore. Crazy that Our second campaign has gone so much slower than the first one. We're about 37 sessions in to our current campaign. And this time last campaign, session 36 of last campaign, Zaf came back to life. Which is just crazy. In only 36 sessions, he came back to life. This is crazy. Like, what the heck? How are we all doing? How are you doing, Jack? How's it going? What have you been up to? But yeah, crazy. Crazy. I also, you just missed me talking about, Jack, you just missed me talking about how anxious I am about all of the shit that's been going on in in our current campaign. Really funny that you'd shout now. Oh well. Just gonna give him a little bit more blush. It's always so funny looking at Zaf before I put his tattoos on him. Because he just looks so different without them. But he looks so normal without them. And without his little white patch in his hair. But I guess I'll get to show you guys how I do his tattoos. And how I do all tattoos. Which, you know, isn't that exciting. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm sorry, this is... There's no real trick to it. There's no real trick. Just add his little shine. Because he's so healthy and happy now. That. Come on, little. I've been off work this week because I've been redecorating my room. It's finally finished and it looks so good though. Ooh, I'm excited. Oh, you gotta show me a pic. That sounds so creepy out of context. I'm sorry, everyone. Show me your room. I can imagine that looks really good though. Just about to start building my PC. Oh! Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Do you think you'll send me a video tour? Yippee! Do you think it'll be finished by Sunday? You gonna spend tomorrow doing it? Loki is someone who's played an undead character. I think she'd be pissed if she ended up properly alive again based on the everything surrounding her circumstances. LMAO. Yeah, I know. It was so the whole thing with Zaf coming back to life is that it was actually... Oh my gosh. I don't know if this music is really, really loud for everyone else, so it's really loud for me. Just turn that down a bit. Yeah, so the thing with Zaf coming back to life is that it was actually payment from a hag. It was like a punishment essentially, where he had asked for... He didn't even think to ask to come back to life. He didn't think that that was something that she could do for her. It wasn't really his main concern. His main concern at the time was, I've discovered that the person who brought me back to life is a fucking monster and is trying to kill my friends, like will be trying to kill my friends. And in my mind's eye, this person, can't even call her a person, she's a creature, this monster is unkillable because she had him locked up in her basement, essentially. In her basement, which was a temple to the god of undeath. She had him locked away for 100 years and was just tormenting him relentlessly for 100 years. Like tearing him apart, stitching him back together constantly, like ripped all his teeth out, replaced them, all of this shit, like honestly just the worst shit imaginable. And he doesn't remember it, but he remembers the fear that he has of her. And like, so in his mind's eye, this creature is not beatable. But he knows that she, like, he's going to have to beat her because she's involved in this world-ending plot that he and his friends are set out to be on. And also that she's, like, kind of looking for him because he has a phylactery. He had a phylactery. She was a lich, and he had a phylactery of hers inside him, right down by his pelvis. And he had to, when he discovered it was there, he freaked out for like 2 weeks, and then he had to get it like greater restoration out of him, and it had this like fang on it, and it was made of glass, and it was like this vial, and it came all the way up through his organs and up through his esophagus, and it just ripped everything from the inside, and it was excruciatingly painful, and he almost died just doing that. And he knew that this phylactery is obviously very important to her, and he knew that she was going to want it back. So this, in his mind, in his mind's eye, this unbeatable creature, this undead god amongst people, was coming to get something from him, and he needed some way of defeating her. He needed more power to protect his friends, because she was going to kill all of his friends. And he lost his friends. They're everything to him. And so he asked the hag for more power. And she said that she would give him more power. She would give him more power. She gave him... she basically gave him the level 6... I think it was the level 6, or maybe the level 11 feature of Wild Magic Sorcerer, which lets you roll twice for your Wild Magic Surge and choose between them. Although it wasn't foolproof, he only would get the gist of it. He wouldn't be able to choose between two effects. He would just, like, he'd get the vibe of what they were, and he could choose between the vibes. And in return for this, she said, "Do you fear death?" And he said no, because A, he's already dead, and B, he worships the goddess of death. Like, you can't really, like, you know, for him, true death was a luxury that he could not afford at the time. He was like, oh god, I can't wait to die. Just get me out of here, bro. Get me out of here. I'm sick of this shit. And that was him at the time. And she said, okay, well, I will take this fear of death from you. And she made him mortal again. She brought him back to life, and he had like 2 or 3 levels of exhaustion. He was absolutely shattered, completely useless for like 2 days, and he came back to life. And honestly, it was, at the time he saw it as nothing more than a win-win. He was like, oh fuck yeah, I get to come back to life and I get more power. This is amazing. This is a huge win. But his whole arc really was about accepting what had happened to him. Accepting that he, you know, couldn't be the person that he once was. Accepting that he would not, like, he could or he couldn't get his memories back. You know, he was still deciding on that. And this whole thing that he had about being super duper self-sacrificial was largely, at least at first, born out of this like intense self-hatred from being undead, and the fact that like he was just so disgusted by the fact he was undead, and he just knew that life sucked because he was undead. He didn't remember living properly, but he just knew that it sucked being undead. And his whole arc was supposed to be about him just like finding that acceptance for himself. And so when this hag brought him back to life, that sort of forced him into a resolution that he wasn't ready for. You know what I mean? He kind of like skipped to the end. He took the easy way out, and that really, really emotionally stunted him. It was kind of the cause of a lot of his crash outs after that, because he was so conflicted. He suddenly wanted to distance himself from everything that he was before, whereas before he was very much like, this horrible thing has happened to me, and you know, I've got to get vengeance for it, and blah blah blah, and I feel very sorry for all of these undead because I know what it feels like to be mistreated and like used as a slave essentially. And then he turns around and he's suddenly not undead anymore, and he's like, fuck the undead, man, they suck, like, get this shit out of here. I am so like, ew. And he suddenly had such a disgust and disdain for other undead. His empathy for them completely died, and he just hated looking at them because he would think of himself, and it was just so, like, she really emotionally stunted him in that moment. Like, he couldn't find that acceptance that he needed to find. He couldn't accept what happened to him because it was like it happened to, like, because now he's different and he's like, oh well, nothing happened, la la la. Let's just pretend that it didn't happen, or whatever. And it was just, you know, so it really fucked him over actually in the long run. It caused him to crash out, and these crash outs, like, one of them ended up with him breaking up with his boyfriend, which is like really rough. He had so many crash outs. He had so many crash outs, and it was all just born from that. But hey, and then also, you know, he had the fear of death put back in him as well. He finally got to understand what it was like to live, and he's just absolutely petrified of it being taken away from him again, and then had to like re get over his fear of death, because he's still worshipped the goddess of death, and it just doesn't really work. So yeah, like, super, like, in a really, really roundabout way, this win-win ended up being a bit of a lose, but he's cool. He looks really good. Oh my gosh. Sorry, everyone. I've been ignoring you. My boy from the first campaign probably can't be brought back to life fully since he was turned into a vampire. Oh my gosh. I really want to play a vampire. I really want to play a vampire. I will at some point. I feel like I've you know, I've had the zombie. Ibzaf is a zombie. You got Senno is a lycanthrope, which is a werebat. I need a vampire. I need the triple threat. I need the triple threat. Okay. OMG. Wait. PC will not be ready for Sunday. I'll still be on the Mac. No. Still shackled by the Mac. Oh, that's so sad. But soon. And then gaming. Yippee gaming. My Dullahan character is bound to an unseelie archfey and was made to kill for their court for a century, and the only way out for him was if he died. The campaign set in the afterlife. Oh, that's really cool. Oh my gosh, that's really cool, Arcana. That's so... Oh. Man, I want to steal that. That's such a cool concept. Just both for a character and for a campaign. I'm really jealous of your Dullahan. Like, I need a Dullahan. They're just my favorite. I keep saying that. They're my favorite. They're my favorite, and I need one. That's a really cool concept for a campaign. Like, yes. What are the stakes? How do you die in the afterlife? I guess you don't. Do you get like banished to the nether realm if you die? It's a really interesting concept. Back again. Hi Waffles. I was working on a new profile picture, but it turned out very ugly. Oh no. I'm sure it's not that ugly. I'm sure it's lovely. I'm sure it's wonderful waffles. I'm assuming you didn't change. I don't remember if you had a different profile picture before. I'm assuming you didn't change it if you don't like it. A lot of the time, if I find something that I'm working on really, really gross and ugly, you know, subjectively, of course, you know, we're all our own harshest critics. I just take a break from it and come back to it. And sometimes I can fix it, sometimes I can't. Sometimes you just have to start again. And that's okay. But he's still under the Unsealers' control. An NPC from that part of his life appeared in the campaign and he got control of them again. No! Oh gosh. That's so... You know, hey, I love a character who's been bound to kill for a century and just like, hey, forced into becoming a warrior for 100 years, gang. That was definitely the biggest fear of Zaf, was to end up under her control again, because she's vicious, vicious, cruel, nasty woman. And I think the thing that always gets to me so much about him is that Zafir was a painter. He was an artist, and I feel like a lot of like it's kind of like, oh, the opposite of a warrior is an artist sort of thing. It really was against his nature to become a fighter, and he was forced into this. He's forced into becoming this fighter, and now he is the champion of his goddess. He is known as the Blade of Nazazel. So his job, essentially for the rest of time, because this is the goddess of the afterlife, when he's dead, his job ain't over. Not like these other champions. Like, his job ain't over when he dies. When he dies, he's gonna have to continue fighting. He has to, like, seek people out and punish the wicked. Make sure everyone gets their just desserts, essentially. Just make sure everyone is in the right place in the afterlife. Which is so him. So him, honestly. If he was a god, he would be the god of vengeance. And I hope he does ascend to godhood one day, because he deserves it. But this guy who was never, ever, ever, ever meant to be a fighter, he was never born to be a fighter. He was just an artist, and he wanted to paint and make people happy. He ended up a warrior, and he will never, ever stop fighting. Ever. Not even when he dies. Which, you know, some would say that that's a really sad ending for him, but it's okay. It is something that he chose for himself, and that is a win. Just him being presented with a choice, and his goddess is so nice about it as well. Like, you can't say no. Can't say no to her, because she was like, are you sure? You know, this is going to be a big responsibility if you choose to do this. And she asked him like 3 times if he was sure that he wanted to do it, and he was like, yeah. So, you know, I feel like a lot of gods usually are just like, you're my champion now, you're my chosen, you have to do what I say. Whereas Nazazel was like, oh, but like, only if you want. You don't have to listen to me. I love you anyway. You can do whatever you want. I just respect her for that. Eee, look at his hair. He's so cute. He's so pretty. My boyo in an epilogue found a new purpose after becoming a champion of Razni, goddess of unwilling undeath. Eee! I love the yappage. Thank you. Thank you, Eleonora. I appreciate you. He became basically an emergency brake for his twin sister that has had much less control of her urges. Oh, I already did, but the other one wasn't much better. Oh. We'll get there, Waffles. Don't give up. We've been chosen to be the new deaths in that campaign, and if someone dies, they just stop existing. Yay! Oh, that's so fun. Does that mean there's no resurrection? Oh. It's a one and done sort of thing. Eek! Talked with the DM about it. Since Erasne is technically a non-evil deity, he can flash a symbol in front of her sister and take advantage of the vampire's aversion to holy symbols. That's so fun! Loophole. Lovely. Loophole. Holy symbol for you, but not for me. Funny enough, the lover of my Dullahan PC was a painter, also forced to be a fighter. Lol. His lover was the one who had to kill him. Oh my gosh! Was his lover... Was that... was his lover Zafir? Oh my gosh. That's so fun. Oh my gosh. Well, Zafir's lover, when he died, when he died, he was murdered the first time, purposefully by this woman who brought him back. She had sent a guy to go and kill him, so that she could resurrect him on purpose. And no one really knows to this day why she chose him specifically. All we know is that it was literally fated. The fates had already written this out. And so regardless, it was always going to be him, which is so weird. But when he died, he had a partner. He had a boyfriend of 17 years. He's an elf, so you know, 17 years ain't that long for an elven relationship, but my god, it's a long time. And they were together for 17 years, and his partner was a baker. And that's where he got his fondness for elven pastries from. But he doesn't remember why. He loves elven pastries so much. They're his favorite food. I imagine specifically like a Danish vanilla crown, because that's my favorite pastry. So he loves elven pastries, and that is because his elven boyfriend, when he was alive, made pastries. He was a pastry chef, he was a baker, and so he'd eat so many pastries all the time, and they smelled really good. And so yeah, he has this fondness for this food, and he doesn't remember why he has it. And he basically, I think in his epilogue, because they got run out of the Empire, he couldn't really continue to follow all of the threads that he had found to his old life, like when he was alive. And so he never gets his memories back. He never discovers anything else about himself. So he never discovers why. He never ever remembers that he had a boyfriend for 17 years before he died. He doesn't remember. But I mean, it's not like they'd get that together. It's been 100 years. That guy has moved on. That guy moved on as hell, but still rough. I think it's really everything about Zafir is the product of his life before he ever died the first time, and his 100 years of undeath, and then being brought into this party. And I think it's just it was so fun to come up with all of this stuff, because there is a reason behind absolutely everything. All of his quirks, he was obsessed with making origami at the beginning of the campaign, and that was literally because he knew he was doing something creative. He knew he had to do something creative. He was trying to find painting, but he hadn't discovered painting yet. He hadn't rediscovered it yet, so he was making origami. That was the first creative thing he could get his hands on. And his love for red wine comes from his aunt, who raised him from being a baby, because his parents went missing when he was an infant, and no one ever figured out what happened to them. And he certainly hasn't. He doesn't even remember. He thinks he has parents. He thinks he probably has parents, and he doesn't really. They went missing. He, you know, he loved to paint. His whole painting thing was so, like, that was his dream. And Zaf was really the opposite of Senomiren, in the way that Zaf's entire family was very, very proficient in magic and sorcery, and Zaf himself was not. He could not cast a spell to save his life, but he was a very good conduit for magical energy. Magical energy sort of just like passed through him with ease, but he just couldn't control it enough to cast spells, and that continued. That's what he said. He's wild magic. So he never really got on with his grandfather, because his grandfather was really disappointed. He was very traditional, and he was very disappointed that his grandson had no magical prowess. And there was literally no other heirs. Like, his family line ended with Zaf, which is double worth when he died. Double worth when he died. And he hated magic. He didn't care for magic. He didn't want to cast magic. All he wanted to do was paint. All he wanted to do his whole life was paint. And he moved to the big city, and he became a painter, and he lived with his boyfriend. And then, because he was a painter, he was noticed by this woman who made him undead, who, like, because he was a painter, he was hunted down in an alleyway, and he ended up like Batman's parents, and then he was kept underground for 100 years. And so when he got out, of being underground for 100 years for the first time, he had forgotten what the sky looked like. He had forgotten what the night sky looked like. He'd forgotten what the sky looked like in general. And the first time he saw the night sky, he was absolutely enraptured. And that's why he loves the stars so much. It's like his favorite thing. Every single thing about Zafir is so sad. He really is the saddest boy I've ever met. No, absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, I think it's really fun when you have a character that, you know, so he was technically 200 and something years old, even though he only looks in his mid-20s. So for an elf, that would be like 100 and early hundreds. And, you know, he's lived a lot of life, and I think it's really fun when you have an older character to come up with reasons why they'd be low level at the beginning of the campaign. And Zaf's reasons were because he had his head blown up again. There was basically a big chunk of magical crystal in his head, and he was captured basically while he was off doing a job for his undead mommy. And when he was captured, even though he was like her favorite, she didn't actually care about him that much. So she used this magical crystal to basically blow him up from the inside, like kill switch. just cooked his brain, just absolutely fried him. This guy has so much brain damage. And yeah, so that was the main reason why he lost all of his memories, is he had forgotten everything about being alive just from being underground and being mistreated for 100 years, and basically being in a state of sleep or being mind controlled by this by his reanimator, but then things just really hit the fan. He forgot everything. He forgot his own name. I mean, he'd already forgotten his own name. He'd forgotten his real name. His real name is Faris. And then when he was a zombie, his name was Zephyr, as in like speedy, as in like the, you know, because he was imbued with super speed essentially as a zombie. And then he basically, when he woke up from his brain damage, he combined the two. He misremembered and he combined the two names, and so he is Zephyr, which is very, very close to Zephyr, but not the same. Not quite the same. Explains his lack of taste in men. Hey, Gogo is very special to me. I love him. Gogo was here from the beginning. And I love a half-orc. Evie ended up undead because of a botched resurrection that resulted in her spirit being tied to her corpse for 150 years, in which she could feel the decay the whole time. Oh god, and the only reason she ended up animated when the evil goddess that she didn't know she was worshipping helped her repossess her decayed body. So she's perhaps bitter about the whole ordeal. Oh no, that's so sad. That's so cool though. I love a possession. I love a possession type beat. Like the way my character Blight is technically a spirit in a ring. Even though he has like a very defined design, he's just a dude in a ring. Hey, don't mess with hags, man. Let's get his... I love his armor so much. His black armor. The funny, this is Zaph's armor is basically the most unrealistic item of clothing I've ever given a character. Because Zaph's campaign, Zaph himself, they exist in a very, very warm country. It's like tropical rainforest, so extremely humid and extremely hot. So, you know, black full plate armor, not really the one for keeping cool. It's heavy, it's sweaty, it's black. He's just cooking in there, you know? But because this is, it's not just fancy armor because he's the champion of his god. This is a holy relic. This is the armor of his god. So I figured that I could basically go as ham as I wanted on the design of it, and I can make it as gothic and unwieldy as I wanted. And it would basically always feel like second skin to him because he's meant to wear it, you know? He could wear it in sand dunes, he could swim in it, and it would always feel comfortable and light and breathable and just, you know, he's meant to wear it. She would not, his goddess would not want him to be uncomfortable. Because she's so sweet. which is quite fun. So I always focus quite hard on making things sort of make sense from a world viewpoint. Like I like a little bit of realism when it comes to dressing my characters, just because that's the sort of thing I like to think about when I'm designing them, and it's not necessary, but I just have fun with it. And it makes it doubly fun when I break the rules, you know? I make something that is purposefully unsuitable and unrealistic, but it has such a cool reason that it goes back around to making sense. You know the rules, and then you break the rules on purpose, and it feels more meaningful. Because, you know, at the end of the day, you can be like, oh, it's just a fantasy game, who cares? And that's true. Dress your characters however you want. But because I dress my characters in a way that is kind of semi-realistic, I guess. I try to put some thought into it. It means that when I do break the rules, it's like, whoa. And oh my gosh, so worth it for this armor. It'll always be the favorite armor that I've ever designed. I spent so long on it, honestly. And it's so incredibly detailed. And he's so shiny! He's so shiny. I get the gradient of his Viper Moth silk. This skirt that he's got going on, his sort of undergarment for his so I don't know if I think it's a surcoat, but it's hard to tell when they're underneath the armor. But this is made out of something called Viper Moth silk, which is basically in the practices for dealing with the dead in this country and for this goddess specifically are using these viper moths, these huge red moths that produce this bright red, like blood red, crimson red silk, and they will come and they will wrap the bodies in silk, and they will help with the decomposition process. And they're absolutely beautiful, and their silk is very, very expensive. And literally all of this red underneath Zaph's armor, all of it is just made completely out of Viper Moth silk. And his outfit here, this red one, is also completely made of Viper Moth silk. Super duper duper expensive, but he gets to wear it. He gets to be draped in it because he is the champion. Yeah. And that's on clothing design. I love it. I love clothing design. Anime literally Evelyn yesterday setting was setting was rainforesty, but she wore a million layers and also black to hide the rot. Yes. Earlier on in the campaign, when Zaph was undead, he wore chainmail and dark colors, and that didn't matter because he had no body heat. He couldn't be uncomfortable and sweaty because he could not sweat. He could not be overheated. He was cold as corpse. So he could wear whatever, and he was used to being uncomfortable. He was uncomfortable all the time. So like, who even cares? He didn't feel the fatigue of a living body. So he could wear plate wherever he went. And there was a small moment between him coming back to life and him becoming the champion of Nazazil where he was alive, and so I dressed him. Let me find it. Da, 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 da. Ah, so cute. I have a couple of older outfits for him. So he has this like robe. This is like his casual outfit. It's made of silk and it was like nice and toasty. And like he's not got a black eye in this one. He had this armor for a minute, where this was the armor that he wore when he was undead. So he just kept it. This is also a plate of Nazazul, which is kind of fun. He's always been wearing her. He's always been repping. And basically all of this underneath is like silk, and it's like as light and breathable as possible, because he was so uncomfortable when he came back to life, because it's so hot and rainforesty and tropical, and he was like, oh, I'm so sweaty. So he needed this like super light, these light layers, and he needed a layer between his chainmail and his skin, where he didn't before, and he needed the layer between his chainmail and his plate on top, because that's what you do. And so yeah, and that was all made out of like fine silk and like really breathable materials, because he was sweating his tits off. And he tried to minimize how often he was wearing his armor. He would only wear it when he knew that we were going to get into trouble, because that's what you do. You don't wear plate armor all the time, in real life anyway. And death is the real chronic illness representation in D&D. Joke. I mean, hey, you're so stiff, you know, you're so stiff, and you know, you go through it. I think I will oh wait, I'm gonna give the sword a little gradient, I think. Because I really want to show you guys something maybe that I've been working on. Well, not working on, but just something that I found really cute. So in my campaign, in the campaign that I'm in currently, our next session is going to consist of an opera. They're going to go to the opera, which is not our mandatory masquerade session. It's just a fun little thing that you know, they're going to. And it's, the opera is called La Fleur's Night, and the dress code for it, because there's like a little costume dress code, but it's not the masquerade session. This little costume dress code is floral themed. Oh gosh, I'm so excited. But it made me think about the language of flowers, because I wanted to do something to like get myself in the mood, but I'd already drawn Senno's little opera outfit, and I'll show it off again. Because it's so pretty. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love her so much. let me get her. Wait, do I not have it? Wait, no, I do. Okay, this is the opera outfit. I'm so excited. But I was thinking about the language of flowers, and I was like, oh, what flowers would your characters be? You know, I want to leave that question with you guys, when I log off. What flowers best represent your characters? Because hey, there's a whole language for it. And what I have done is I have created a whole bouquet for Senno, and I'm gonna draw it properly. I'm gonna draw it, and I might do one for Zafir as well. I might do one for another character at some point as well. But I pulled a bunch of flowers together. Would you like to see? It's really bad. I've gotten wrapped up in doing the golden trimmings for Zaf's armor for the moment. So, because, you know, we're nearly at the end of the stream. I just think like it'd be kind of fun way to end it on is to discuss the language of flowers. Because, you know, we all do the tarot cards. What tarot card would everyone be? Senna would be strength. Zaf is obviously the Hanged Man. Obviously. Don't even need to think about that. I don't know what Godred would be. Maybe the Hermit. Probably the Hermit. Oh, actually, no, definitely the Hermit. What am I even talking about? I think the Fool, the Hermit, the Hanged Man, strength. But yeah, let me pull out my okay. This is gonna okay, right. It looks kind of silly. Okay, this is my Senna bouquet. So ignore how horribly like corrupt these are. I just pulled these from the internet, just the little like watercolors of the different flowers that I've got. But I get the language of flowers. And I've pulled them all together and it's become a really nice little bouquet. So this is what I think a bouquet of flowers that represent Senna would look like. Very yellow and pink. I just have to say off the bat, crazy. Yellow is her favorite color aside from this like this red and yellow are her two favorite colors. So kind of crazy that she's got so much yellow in there. But in the language of flowers, yellow usually means romantic rejection. But just the idea of rejection is very on brand for Senna. So we'll go through them all. So she's got a yellow carnation, which represents mother's love, which Senna is very, very... Let me get Senna, there we go. Look at her. Senna is very, very attached to her mother. Her mother's love means everything to her. For a long time, her mother was her only friend. So, you know, super on brand. There we go. And then, but it also means disdain, disappointment, and rejection. So disdain, disappointment, rejection are basically all of the feelings that she has been feeling ever since she left her home. And also when she was in her home, she has felt very rejected, basically her entire life. And she has a lot of disdain for basically everything outside of her home. And she was very disappointed when she left her home because she thought that she would get something better. And it was not. She has this we'll go like down and around, or maybe we'll go up and around. She has this sort of dichotomy between the white clover, which means think of me in the language of flowers, and butterfly weed, which says let me go, because she's very flip-floppy, where she is kind of desperate for someone to she's kind of desperate for someone to care about her and just to think of her and to love her, but she is also very actually anti that. It's very much like, come close, no, stay away, come close, no, stay away. You know, that sort of thing. Think of me, let me go, think of me, let me go. She wants to be able to come and go as she pleases. She's kind of used to that, but she really wants someone to care whether or not she goes. Then she has these pink flowers, these 3 pink flowers. So she has the zinnia, the sweet pea, and the cyclamen. These lovely pink flowers down here. And the zinnia is thoughts of absent friends and lasting affection. So it's sort of this lingering affection that she has for her friends back home, her still thinking of them, her wishing that she could fix things with them. Oh, you crushed me. The sweet pea and also the cyclamen both mean goodbye. Obviously, she left her clan. Goodbye. Teehee. Bye. And the sweet pea is like the positive version of that. So she's like, blissful pleasures, goodbye in a nice way, thank you for a lovely time. And then the cyclamen is like the reverse of that, where it's goodbye, resignation, and diffidence. And diffidence means insecurity and self-doubt, which so her. So her. It's like it's sort of like a sour goodbye and then also a nice goodbye, where she still has all of these nice, she's very conflicted, she still has all of these nice thoughts and these lingering affections for her friends and her mother and all of this, but she had resigned herself to never getting what she wanted to get from staying at home. And you know, she's like, thanks, but I gotta move on. And you know, it's this conflict that really causes a lot of her heartache, where she is looking back at things with rose-tinted glasses and she wishes she was home so badly because everything out here sucks. She hates the country that she's in currently. She just wants to go home, but she can't. And then everything is wrapped up in big fern leaves. Magic, fascination, the secret bonds of love, which, like, you know, these big ferns like wrap up the whole bouquet because that is the embodiment of Senna, really. That's what keeps all of her together, is just this curiosity, this fascination that drives her forward. Magic, obviously she loves magic, and secret bonds of love I take to mean, like, she never outwardly ever says that she loves someone. She's just, it's always a secret. Her bonds are always secret. Yellow chrysanthemum means slighted love, which, oh, stab in the heart. She's not been very lucky in romantic love. So, you know, she's written it off. She's kind of like, yeah, whatever, who cares. Goldenrod, which is this lovely yellow plant here, out the back, is encouragement and good fortune, which, you know, she believes herself to be lucky for certain reasons. She believes herself to have good fortune. She pushes her luck a lot, and encouragement is kind of just, nothing ever seems to stop her. You know, she's always pushing herself forward, and she's always trying to encourage those around her to push forward as well, wherever she can. And then the yellow tulip at the top, sunshine in your smile, is like what it means, which is such a specific saying that it has to be in there for Brannigan specifically, because she once told him that he has a smile like the sun, and that is her bouquet. And he's basically her most important person right now, because she ain't got her mum. All of her friends, she's fallen out with everyone that she's ever cared about. So that's that's her bouquet. And I think I really want to draw it properly, because these are just a bunch of images, watercolor paintings that I have stolen off the internet, and so, you know, feels a bit awkward. Feels a bit awkward. God, my DM started a tarot chat of our characters ages ago. I need to ask him how that's going. Oh, that's so exciting! I love doing tarots for my characters. I really need to do... I always have such grand plans to do like the whole set of Major Arcana, but I never get around to it. My Dullahan PC would be death. Bro was legit designed to be death before becoming actual death. Yes! No, a Dullahan being death though is so cool. I love it. I love it so much. Stop. What if I wept? I am totally cool about this. I don't feel right. Yeah, no idea. No. Would never. So yeah. That's Senno summed up as a bouquet of flowers for the Flowers night. So everyone's homework this week. Everyone's homework this week. Hey, let's look up the language of flowers. Who's making bouquets for their characters? Because it's actually really fun. And maybe I'll make some for some of my other characters, because it was really fun to do, actually. It was really fun to do. And also thinking about the language of flowers and how it was used in the Victorian era to like send messages to people, the way that you would hand off the bouquets of flowers to people and the way that they were wrapped in a ribbon and things like that, they all made they all made a difference. They all said something. And so it'd be really interesting to both see what a bouquet of flowers that like represents your character would look like, or just a flower, but also if they were going to send a message to someone through flowers, like what would that be and who would that be to? You know, that's a lot of things to think about, but I just think it's so cool, and I'm definitely gonna keep thinking about it in the future, because, you know, I've done the tarot, I've done the playlists, I've done the Pinterest boards, I've done the Sims, I've put them in every game. I need something else to do. Flower language. I'm so excited to go to the opera. Oh my god, me too. I'm so excited. I hope we have enough time to actually get through it and finish it. And I hope that Senna gets to watch the opera instead of having to work, because that would be nice. B doesn't count right now. I'm focusing on Era and Ev, but I will be reporting back. Thank you. I will also be throwing this early as this player. Yes, absolutely. See, if you did if you did Era and Elias and you, like, what would their bouquets to each other look like? What would they want to tell each other through flowers? Or if they were giving each other bouquets of flowers to be like, this is what I think of you. I just love it so much. It's so cool. It's so cool. God. There's just so much that can be done, you know? There's so much that can be done. But hey, maybe I'll take off the trim. Maybe I'll take off the trim for this, because it kind of looks weird with the trim when it's not rendered yet. Where is the trim? I didn't put it. No, I didn't. Okay, there we go. But hey, look, his armor's so shiny. I've got so many details to throw into this next week. It's actually gonna take so long, you guys. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready, because this shit is detailed as fuck. Like, hey, I made this really intricate armor and I refused to draw it again for months and months, and now I've started drawing it again. Why did I design it like this? Why did I do this to myself? It's gonna look lovely though when he's done. He already looks lovely. I'm obsessed with him. So we'll work on Zephyr some more next week, and I'll have plenty more horribly sad things to tell you guys about him, because his whole story is so sad. And his campaign was really fun, actually. I'd love to actually speak about his campaign a bit more, because I'm feeling nostalgic for it. And I will tell you guys all about the Fleurs night. But let us zoom out so we can have a look at where we're finishing off. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay, that is where I'll leave things off. Thank you all so much for joining me on on our spooky Friday the 13th. I'm really glad that nothing else went wrong. But yeah, so thank you so much, Eleonora and Unearthly Arcana and Jack and Waffles and Daro and anyone else who has popped in or been lurking. It is so lovely to hang out with you guys every single week. And so take care of yourselves, play some D&D, and I will see you all next week. Bye guys. Bye. Have a great week. Bye.